Hello, it's Doris with All the Books. Happy June. Very excited. Oh, you can tell, I'm sure, I have 7.5 days left of work. Yes, until summer vacation because I'm a school teacher. Hoorah! And I'm planning on getting a lot of reading done. So I have not one zine for June, but 3 zines for the summer that I want to share with you, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to go ahead and share July in just a minute. But first, I wanted to mention that this coming weekend is Mid-Month Book Bash. So that's the weekend every month, the second weekend of every month, where I and several of my friends online set aside extra time to read, just to, get a jump start on the reading for the month. So it's an extended weekend. So we always start on Friday to get a jump start on the weekend, get it started right, and carry through Monday just to give ourselves some extra time to wrap it up, and keep on going. Because, this is to jump start your reading for the whole month. Anyway, so join us for Mid-Month Book Bash. I will try to post a little bit on my stories over on Instagram. So Doris Sander, DorisSander on Instagram. And I usually also post a vlog for the weekend here on BookTube. So if you are joining in, leave a comment so I know where to find you, either on your BookTube channel or Instagram, or, just leave comments. And I'll chat along with you. Anyway, I have so many books. I love this new term. I don't know who coined it. I know that Greg from Supposedly Fun says it a lot, pile of possibilities. Several people do, but Brian from Bookish called it pop the other day. I don't know if he verbally said pop, but he used that acronym on his thumbnail or something. Pile of possibilities. So I love that. So the difference is, a TBR, the idea is you're going to read these books, for sure, eventually, sometime. But pile of possibilities is these are, books that interest me currently, and I'm going to choose from them which ones I'm going to read. So I have my June zine. So I live in China and I don't buy a lot of books, and I don't have a library. I have a school library, but it doesn't necessarily have all the books that I want to read when I want to read them. So I read a lot of books digitally, electronically these days. So I've started making zines so that I can share the books with you visually more easily, because I'm way too lazy to do all that editing. Yes, so I have 3 zines for this summer. I am off for half of June, all of July, and a little, a week or so of a week. Less than a week of August, let's say. So, my June reading and my July reading are just kind of blend. So I'm just going to share all of these awesome possibilities. Some are definites for reasons, but I'm just going to flip through them quickly. And then we'll talk about them more, as they happen. I'm going to try to get back into Friday reads, the next couple months for sure. That's a good idea. Anyway, let's just dive in. June. So if you're wondering, this gorgeous covers that I keep finding for these, I just Google, I'm doing flower theme all year with my covers, and I just Googled the month, the word flower, and the word art. So June flower art, July flower art, rainbow flower art. We'll get to that one. And, I just find beautiful covers that kind of fit my theme for the month, my mood at least. Anyway, okay. Here we go. June. So in my June zine, I have How Far the Light Reaches by Sabrina Embler. So this is the book naturalist pick for June. I always put my book naturalist book club picks at the beginning of the month because Heidi and I host that, and it's pretty important that I finish these books. So this pick is kind of a memoir / nature writing. It's subtitled A Life in 10 Sea Creatures, and this one is for Pride Month. And then also book naturalists, we have The Mermaid of Black Conch, or Conch, depending on, where you grew up. I grew up in Florida, and we say Conch. This is by Monique Rafi, and this one is perfect for Caribathon. And, if you don't have time now, this is also, I think, a quickie, so you could save it for Shorty September. I think this one's kind of a fable-esque story. We'll see. Okay, and then I am finishing my reread / buddy read of Tolkien. So good. So I'm on The Return of the King, and this is my absolute favorite. So fun times ahead. And then I'm still determined to read The Covenant of Water by Abraham Verghese. I saw that it has made it to the semifinals of the BookTube prize, and I have this one physically. So I'm thinking I have 2 weeks until I leave. So I'm thinking to try to read it in the next 2 weeks. We'll see. And then also more lingering TBR books. The House of Doors by Tan Tuan and Horse by Geraldine Brooks. This one also made it to the semifinals, I believe. But these two are from my Italy book haul that I'm still trying to finish. So I have these both physically as well, but they're paperback. So I'm thinking I like to take a couple of physical books on the plane. It's a long plane ride, y'all, from China back to... We're flying into JFK in New York. And I like to have physical books to read, because I don't like to fly. And I like to, read and pretend I'm not where I am, which is in a big tin can floating in the air. Anyway. So I'm thinking those will be my airplane books. That's what I'm thinking. And then... I had finished all of my designated reading last month, and I needed to grab something else to read, and I just flipped through my Storygraph. I keep my TBR virtually on my Storygraph now, the ones that I'm really wanting to read. And so I just grabbed an ebook and an audiobook off there. So I ended up with Blockchain Chicken Farm and Other Stories of Tech in China's Countryside. And this one I have started reading, and it's pretty cool. It's very intellectual, but it is fascinating. More later. And then I started Hidden Valley Road, Inside the Mind of an American Family by Robert Kolker on audio. And this one is about a family of 12, and I forget how many of the boys have schizophrenia, but right now we're at 6. And this is excellently written and very devastating, but told in a way that I can process. More later. This is just to tell you what I'm reading or possibly reading. And then this came available from my library. I had it on hold. Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands, a novel by Heather Fawcett. This is book 2 in the Emily Wilde series. I read Encyclopedia of Fairies last month and loved it so much more than I expected to. I found it fabulous. So I immediately put the next one on hold. Well, like halfway through, Encyclopedia of Fairies, I flipped to the front to find out when it was published, and then immediately went online to see if the second one was in print yet, which it was. And then I put this one on hold, and it's available. So I'll be starting this one very soon. And then A Night to Remember. This is the Spindle Cove Regency Romance series by Tessa Dare. I read this several years ago. Like, it might have even been 10. It's not been 10 years ago, I don't think, but it's been more than 5. This is a really good series if you're into Regency romance. And so I'm reading this with my Regency romance buddy reading group, Heidi and Katie. And Katie and I have both read it and absolutely loved it. And so Heidi has never, so we're going to reread it with her. So those are June books, and I'm feeling fairly confident that I will read all of these, or 80%, 90%, we'll see. I had so many books. I think I'll be doing more reading this summer than I have been. I've been averaging like 8 or 9 books a month, but I think that this summer, again, fingers crossed, I'll read more. So I have a Pride pile of possibilities, and disclaimer, the majority of these are from Greg from Supposedly Fun. He had a great pile of possibility video for Pride Month that he has posted recently. But not all of these are from that video. They're from a variety of sources, but a lot that I've heard here and there from talking with him. So these are possibilities for this summer. This is a definite. The Guncle Abroad by Steve Rowley. So I am proud. I didn't introduce him to the Guncle, but I encouraged him to read it. And this may have been the book from which we coined the phrase pure cinnamon bun, which simply means like sweet and cozy in the purest way, like, you know, just so supremely perfection. So we love the Guncle. And he mentioned on, I think, that video, the Pride Possibilities video, that the Guncle Abroad was out. So I immediately reserved it as well. I'm 6 weeks out on the waiting list, but, you know, maybe it'll come earlier because it's a fast read. And then I have The Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich by Daya Muniz. This is recommended specifically for me by Reed Becca on her channel. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I'm going to try to get this one read this summer. I mean, look at that cover. Charming, right? And then I have a couple. These two I think will pair very well. So Trans Like Me and Before We Were Trans. So Trans Like Me, Conversations for All of Us. This one by E.C.N. Lester. This one is essays, so that'll be neat. And then this one by Kit Hyam is a new history of gender. This one is, you know, like a history, nonfiction, chronological. So I think those will work really nicely together. And then this one is a new release. Like, I don't even know if it's out yet, but these two are really neat for me living in China, because this one, excuse me. This one begins in rural China at a movie theater, And because of oppression from, you know, being gay, they end up immigrating to the U.S. to Chinatown. So there's that one. And then this one, Everything I Learned in a Chinese Restaurant, is a memoir set in the 1980s. Excuse me. So I was a child in the 1980s, so I think that I will enjoy that one a great deal. And then this one sounded super interesting. Ma and Me by Putsada Riang. This is another memoir, but this one is Cambodian and a mother-daughter conversation. And then Mr. Loverman by Bernardine Evaristo. We all know and love Bernardine Evaristo. This one's perfect for Caribathon, so I might try to get to that one sooner. And then this one, The Secret Life of Albert Entwistle. This one, I believe, is one of Greg's absolute favorites, and cinnamon bun material, pure. So put that one on my list. And then Pet by Akweke Emezi. I really loved her book Freshwater. And so I've been meaning to try to get to this one at some point. So that's my Pride pile of possibilities. And then we have the July TBR. And I'm going with this here because I don't know if I'll read some of these in June and some of the June and July. They're going to merge because it's just going to be summer festivities, you know? So in July, I will definitely be reading 2 for the Book Naturalist Book Club again. Mostly we read 1 book, but sometimes 2. So these 2 months it just worked out that we're reading 2 and 2. So Bite by Bite by Amy Nizuka Matado. This is nonfiction around plants and plant-based food sources. And she's a poet originally, and then she started writing nature writing, short form essays. And her first book, World of Wonders, about animals was absolutely delightful. So looking forward to that one a great deal. And then this one, the cover is just so gorgeous. Soil, the story of a Black mother's garden by Camille T. Dungy. A brilliant and beautiful memoir of Dungy's deepening relationship with the earth. So looking forward to both of those. I will definitely read those for Book Naturalist Book Club. And then sometime in the next 2 months, I need to read for the BookTube Prize. So I am judging that nonfiction again. And I was really hopeful that I would have read 3 of the 6 books. I felt pretty confident that I would get 3. But I got lucky. So, one group, I had only read 2 of the books, and the other group, I had read 4. So, you know, it broke down into 2 and 4, and I got lucky and got I had already read 4 rounds, so yay. I need to read Brave the Wild River, The Untold Story of 2 Women Who Mapped the Botany of the Grand Canyon by Melissa L. Savigny. If you know me, you know that I have been looking forward to this as soon as I saw it listed on not just the long list, but the mega long list. So really excited that this one has made it through to the semifinals. I mean, hello, I host a club called the Book Naturalist Book Club. Anyway, and I also have slated to read We Were Once a Family, A Story of Love, Death, and Child Removal in America by Roxana Asgharian. So I'll get to those for sure in the next 2 months. And then I think have put some other maybes. These are possibilities here in the back. So The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. This has made it to the semifinals for the fiction for the BookTube prize. And I am not judging fiction, but Patrice Jones, who is also here on BookTube and a friend of mine, she raved about this and told me that I would really enjoy it. So I'm going to try to get to that at some point. And then The Exceptions, Nancy Hopkins and the Fight for Women in Science by Kate Zernike. This one did not make it to the semifinals in the nonfiction, but I know that Britta Bowler really, really liked it. So, and you know, I love science, so I want to get to this one for sure. I don't know if I'll get to it this summer, but eventually. And then, you know, summer, let's, you know, work on, what did I say? Motivational reading. So I have Why We Run by Bernhard Heinrich. This is a natural history. And I read his book, Set in Maine, A Year in the Maine Woods, for Book Naturalists a couple years ago, and really enjoyed it. And he's a professor, biologist, studies birds, crows specifically. So he's got another book. I have 2 of his books on my TBR, 3 actually, because my friend Will gave me another one about house wrens, I think. But anyway, I really want to read the crow book, but I also had this one because he's also a runner. So this one is like him getting into not just marathons, but ultra marathon running, and like studying animal adaptations and how that translates to humans. So sounds intriguing if you're into that sort of thing. And then this one would be a reread, The Power of Moments by Chip Heath and Dan Heath. Why certain experiences have extraordinary impact. So this one I thought would be a great professional development book. So I am the ELL coordinator at my school, so I'm in charge of all the ELL, ESL teachers, English as a second language, working with students who English is not their first language. So I thought I would get a lot of ideas from this book on how to make learning dynamic and experiential. So I've read it before and enjoyed it, so I want to reread that. And then I've just been curious about Northwoods by Daniel Mason. It sounds from the synopsis like a book that I would absolutely love. Focus on nature and magical realism in it. Historical timeline. I like all those things. However, several people that I know have not liked it, but I still am intrigued. So I am going to hopefully check that out at some point. And then Pines by Blake Crouch. I don't even remember what this is, if it's mystery or horror, but I'm pretty sure that I heard about it from Brian from Bookish, and I was super intrigued when he mentioned it. So there you go. Those are my 30 pile of possibility books for June and July, and I will be having access to bookstores. So there may be other possibilities entering this mix for sure. For sure there will. So stay tuned. But you know, I'm going to try to do Friday reads, and I think I have other things to talk about. Oh, the BookTube prize. I need to make a video about that as well. So, oh, I have to do a Springathon wrap up. And I think that I've had like 25 star books already this year. So I thought that would be a cool topic for a video. Talk about just how I managed to do that. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye.